Good morning. Welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. Yesterday, we shared together talking about triggers for addictive behaviors, including relapse. We shared the acronym, and it's an expanded acronym now of 6 letters, and we simply call it HALT-B. And the 6 letters are HAALTB. And these 6 letters cover the physical and emotional triggers, cover a good number of those that trip us up when we're committed to sobriety. And I shared with you that those 6 letters stand for hungry, angry, anxious, lonely, tired, and bored. And when any one of those or any combination of those come up in my life, in the life of those that I was working with yesterday, these are men seeking recovery from addiction, that they're much more at risk for using. What I shared also yesterday that I wanted to bring today is how it is that knowing that these are vulnerable places for me, that I can actually identify backwards when I'm stressed. And what do I mean by backwards? What I mean here is that whenever I'm feeling one of these 6 sensations or feelings, it oftentimes isn't that I'll notice them first. What I'll notice is that I have a desire to have a drink. So pick whatever addictive behavior it is that you may be vulnerable to. Drinking was an early one for me, is that oftentimes that will come up automatically, and it's our paying attention to that impulse to drink or drug or engage in some other addictive behavior that can lead us to self-monitor how we're doing around these various triggers. So think about it in terms of your own experience for just a minute. And since for me, alcohol was one of my early addictions before other drugs, I established an unconscious pattern early on of turning to alcohol for its soothing properties to help manage physical discomfort like hunger or tiredness, and also its emotional counterparts such as anger, anxiety, loneliness, and boredom. And there you have it, HALT-B. Soon enough, what happened for me and what happens for so many of the people I work with is that they stop being so aware of what prompts them towards the addictive behavior. And in any one of these triggers, singly or oftentimes in combination, is now sufficient to prompt my craving for alcohol. So in previous days, before I got into recovery, it became an unconscious, almost like a knee-jerk reflex. Nowadays, where I wish not to resort to addictive behaviors like alcohol or other substitutes, that help me manage the discomfort, I'm working on more consciously noticing what's going on inside of me. And I actually consider the impulse or the craving, in my case for a drink, I consider that a helpful friend at this point, because it's a signal that something is going on, typically because I'm stressed in one of these 6 domains. When I shared these observations just yesterday with the men that I was working with in the treatment center, who themselves are seeking recovery from addiction of all kinds, from alcohol to marijuana to cocaine to heroin to methamphetamine, and then all the various addictive behaviors, compulsive behaviors like compulsive sexuality, overeating, overspending, gambling, and so on. These men, these are the clients that I worked with yesterday, they agreed that some form of this acronym, HALT-B, oftentimes is what leads them straight down the rabbit hole into addictive relapse as well. What I'd like to do is discuss this further tomorrow. I'd like you to come back, if you will, and we're going to open into examining some strategies for coping with these 6 triggers. It's right at the heart of one of the real the central priorities for me here at the Vitality Project. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you then tomorrow.